Hello, I hope all is well. It's a wonderful day. I'm just sitting out here on the porch enjoying the sunshine and fresh air. Make sure you do the same thing, no matter how hot or how cold it is. Take the time to go outside, enjoy God's creation, and get some fresh air and be healthy. 'Cause your body houses a soul. You're only gonna live life just once. So enjoy it, make the most of it. So I wanted to talk to you about what could happen here in America. So I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Red Dawn. There's two versions, one from the 80s, another one I think 2012. What the movie is, and I'll give a brief summary, is that there is an invading force that comes in and attacks America and tries to take over. Now, this invasion is a military invasion, okay? I haven't seen the 80s version, but I've seen the latest 2012 version. So, in the 2012 version, I believe the original plot was the Chinese troops were going to invade, but supposedly the Chinese threw a fit, and so they changed it to, I believe it's Koreans. So I won't go into details, but I think it's kind of obvious that in the movie, of course, Americans defeat the invading forces, but that, of course, is a movie. If that were to be in real life, what would actually happen? So I, I do believe that deep down there will be a Red Dawn style invasion, but it's not. It's going to be similar, but a lot more than what the movie portrays. You got to keep in mind the Cold War never ended for the Russians or the Chinese or a lot of the countries that's affiliated in siding with those two powers. America, in turn, declared itself victorious. Now ate, drank, got fat, got happy, and got lazy. The Chinese and the Russians, the Cold War never ended for them. They simply stepped back, regroup, and they re-emerge, and now look where they're at, okay? Chinese have the most people in the entire world. Russia, all of its land combined, is the biggest country, even with America, with Alaska included. It's a lot of natural resources for Russia, and a combined country of Russia and China, America wouldn't be able to defeat, okay? There's too much resources on the Chinese-Russian side, too much manpower, geography, strategic-wise, they hold a lot of advantages, and when you have faith involved, yes, a lot of Americans, identify as Christians, but also a lot of Russians and Christianity religion is growing, getting deeper in China also. And if you look at the Bible prophecy indicates a balance of power shifting from the west to the east and remaining in the east permanently, with Israel being at the center of it all. America, for some odd reason, is conspicuously and mysteriously not mentioned in the Bible. And this is just my personal opinion. I'll take note that it's not really in the Bible because there's no mention of it, but I think it's because America, as a bully empire, ceased to exist in the end times. That's honestly why I believe there's no mention of America. I believe it crumbles as an empire before the rapture. So it's rather unfortunate. But if you look at America and you compare it to how all the other dominant civilizations started, it also ended just like the way it started. And all these empires just started by going into wars, attacking and defeating the weaker empire. And along with that, they take the spoils of war, convert it to them, and from there they live a good life. And then, towards the end, towards their decline, another dominant power eventually emerges and overtakes the previously once dominant empire. Well, wasn't America started with the genocides of the Native Americans? Yes, it did. It did. Yes, there's a dog barking across the street. It did. And you also have the enslavement of black people, the illegal immoral war against the Mexicans and Native Americans and took their land away. Let's not forget the Kingdom of Hawaii had its own sovereignty until it was overtaken with the use of coercion and the threat of military power, which the Native Hawaiians knew they wouldn't be able to overpower. Along with the illegal and immoral wars of Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, and now we are in Syria illegally, threatening to kill Persians and Venezuelans. And you gotta ask, where does this stop? Where does it end? And you take all that together, and then it makes more sense why America is not mentioned in the Bible, because God does not and cannot reward death, destruction, and lies. And that's how America got started. Whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not, you can't deny that America genocided the native Indians, okay? You can spare me your story. This actually happened, this and that. The fact is, Indians roamed the land free and wild, both sides of the coast and all over the country. Now they've been wiped out and pretty much contained in reservations. And there's a side to them, their soul. It's just not catered towards modern society. They were better off being in tune with the earth. That's just how it is. That's how God created them to be. So, what the point I'm trying to say is, all this is going to come back and haunt America. Okay, you reap what you sow. When you saw death and destruction, it has a way of coming back to haunt you. Okay, you cannot get away with your sins. God sees it all, and God responds to it all. About the Red Dawn invasion, how would it go? Well, foreign forces have been amassing itself for decades in America. Um, Chinese own Long Beach port and a lot of other land and entities here in America. It used to be quiet and hush hush, but even some people, I'm surprised, know about it. So the Chinese, between that, them secretly in here, the collapsing economy, the threat of EMP strike, the alliance of the BRICS nation, at some point they're going to be given the green light to go, and they will likely attack simultaneously. They will probably launch an EMP strike, cripple that communication foundation of America. Both sides are going to be attacked. Perhaps they will detonate a bomb that'll cause a natural disaster, exploding a bomb underneath the ocean so it creates a tsunami. You can't rule that out. In the south, these Middle Eastern so-called terrorist group, they may be terrorists in American eyes, but for a lot of Middle Easterners, they're not. That's their own sons and daughters. They will, Hezbollah, Daesh, ISIS, Jabhat al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, and all the other groups, they have all been in alliance with these South American, Mexican drug cartels and gangs, and they're going to infiltrate from the south. They will partake in this Red Dawn invasion, and at the end, between all the forces combined and your average American, being lazy and just really don't have the will to fight, I believe America will be overwhelmed will be defeated and will be subjugated by its invaders. No different than how Americans subjugated the native Indians. So, a case of what goes on comes around. Personally, yes, I do believe that. You can say, oh, I'm wrong, but you can't prove that I'm wrong either. And you still can't prove that America is mentioned in the Bible because there is no America in the Bible. You can say your symbolism, your compare and contrast, America represents this, that. The point is, there's still no America in anywhere in the Bible. So, the point being, live a righteous life, live a right that's pleasing before God. Try to be meek and humble. Try to live an innocent life. Okay? No need to try to be a tough guy or a tough girl because, you know, if you're a red blooded American, you're proud and you're claimed to be tough, well, why didn't you save your own people in your own country? Or is it mentioned that you're there in the end times? Because you're not. So, better to be meek and humble, for they shall inherit the earth. Thank you for listening, and Baruch Hashem.